Hello, can you guys hear me? Let's see if this is working. Hello, can you guys hear me? Oh, it looks like it's working. Success. I'm so excited. This is going to be a great day. It's a great day to have a great day. Who agrees? If you guys agree, say it's going to be a great day. We got 1 minute till start time. So I can say that stuff for the next minute, and then we'll get going. I am so excited for today. And I didn't even have a double caffeinated Starbucks drink. It's just natural. I did exercise this morning. That's a big deal for me. My goal is to start being an Instagram model. It may take me about 30 years, but I'll get there. By the way, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, just look for me at Joe Juter. This is not Stu, this is Joe. My Instagram is there, Joe Juter. You can also follow a Prep Agent. Obviously, Prep Agent's Real Estate Exam Prep Instagram. Oscar says, let's go. That's what I'm talking about, Oscar. Okay, we're going to get going with contracts today. I believe it's on the hour right now, so let's begin. Okay, so we're talking about contracts. So who could give me the 4 essential elements of a valid contract? Anybody? 4 essential elements of a valid contract. 4 essential elements of a valid contract. You got this, Dominique. Four essential elements of a valid contract. Lawful object is 1. Mutual agreement's another. Capable parties and consideration. Jeanette wrote dust. Jeanette, that's 4 essential elements of value. Don't get it confused. Essential elements of value is stud or dust. That's the scarcity, transferability, utility, and demand. That's different. Contracts is mutual agreement, also known as offer, acceptance, or meeting of the minds, however they want to say it. Lawful object, capable parties, and consideration. What is consideration? What do you guys think consideration is? Who could tell me? Anybody? What is consideration? Is it money or is it anything of value? Nice job, Nia. Great job, Nia. Sorry if chanting your name was a little over the top. I just felt compelled. Anything of value. Could it be a hug? Could it be a hug? Could it be a hug? By the way, if your screen pauses, just refresh it. Just be sure to hit refresh, okay? Sometimes we have internet connection issues. I know I do. So if that happens, just hit refresh. All right, everybody got it? And also, make sure your settings are in 720 HD so the screen is as clear as possible. So if you get that little circular thingamabobber, I don't know what they call it, then just hit refresh. Okay, so anything of value. Good job, everybody. For mutual consent, it's a 3-step process. What is that 3-step process? What do you guys think? For agreement, what do you need for agreement to be agreement? What do you guys think? What do you need for agreement to be agreement? Kimberly Williams says, hello, I'm late for Kentucky. Kentucky. Okay, here we go. What do you guys need? You need offer and acceptance and mutual, and you got to communicate back that acceptance. Everybody thinks offer and acceptance, but don't forget you got to communicate back that acceptance. All right. For example, if I make an offer, oh, congratulations, Brianna. If I make an offer and you accept that offer, I don't know that you accept that offer, so what will I do? I will make an offer on another property, right, guys? When you say it like that, it seems pretty obvious. You got to remember, you offer acceptance, you got to communicate back that acceptance. When you think it through in real life, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Offer acceptance and communicate back acceptance. Hey, good job, Brianna. Nice job, Janet. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the question on the board. Why don't we? One of the required elements of a valid real estate sales contract is that it must A, provide for possession of the property by the buyer, B, be signed by the buyer, C, provide for methods of payment, or D, be signed by the seller. Prince says hello from New York. Let's go Jets. Okay, what's the answer here? Provide for possession of the buyer, signed by the buyer, provide for methods, or be signed by the seller. And the answer is signed by the seller. Good. Okay. When we talk about signing, I want to clarify something. Do all contracts need to be in writing? Do all contracts need to be in writing? Do all contracts need to be in writing? No. 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 Why do people always get this wrong? Not you guys, but I would get this wrong. Why do they get it wrong? Is because when you transfer real estate, it needs to be in writing. So a lot of you guys wrote a lease under a year. Everybody pay attention. Promise me you're paying attention to me here. This is important. When you sign under lease under a year, you're not transferring property. Everybody got that? But when you transfer property, transfer ownership, transfer title, there needs to be writing. And that's why people always think it needs to be in writing. But listen to the question carefully. Do all contracts need to be in writing? I didn't say anything about real estate contracts or transferring property. Let's talk about real estate contracts. Let's talk about transferring ownership. Everybody got that? So it's a tricky one. So if they start asking about transferring ownership of property, that's a different deal. Everybody got it? That's where people can get tricked on these stupid questions. Right? I got it. If you got it. And if that was helpful, let me know. Because I think it's an important point where people sometimes slip up. Great job, Matt. Jones, the seller, receives an offer to purchase and put forth a counteroffer to Brown, the buyer. Until Brown notifies Jones of his acceptance of rejection, Jones, A, may produce a new counteroffer. B, cannot accept another offer from a different buyer. C, is legally bound to the terms of the counteroffer. Or D, may accept Brown's original offer. What do you guys think? And the answer is may produce a new counteroffer. If you need to refresh, hit the little circular thing in the URL. I don't know how to explain it. The circle thing with the arrow at the end. Some techies, help me out here. Okay, may produce a counteroffer. What is a counteroffer? A counteroffer is a brand new offer. Everybody write that down. A counteroffer is a brand new offer. The counteroffer is when the offeree becomes the offeror. Right? It's when the offeree becomes the offeror. If you're having trouble keeping up, don't worry. This webinar will be available on replay. Okay, so the counteroffer is when the offeree becomes the offeror and the original offer gets squished. All right. Do we all know our OREE rule? Do you guys know your OREE rule? So when I say the offeree becomes offeror, you're saying, I reject your 500 grand for my house and I will offer you my house for your 550 grand. The OREE rule. Lessor, vendor, optionor, grantor, the giver, the proprietor. Lessee, vendee, optionee, give me property, makes me happy. I'll do it again. A one, two, three. Lessor, vendor, optionor, vendor, grantor, giver, the proprietor for your pleasure. Lessee, vendee, optionee, grantee, gives me property, makes me happy. OR is the giver, EE receives. There are no exceptions to this rule. It is a suffix that we learned in elementary school. Go back to your elementary school textbooks. There are no exceptions to this rule. Okay, OR is the giver, EE receives. So I'll ask you guys this. Are there any exceptions to this rule? What do you guys think? Are there any exceptions to this rule? Everybody right? No! Awesome. Thank you guys for listening. Okay. A safety... What? Why'd somebody write yes? Stop. You're breaking my heart. A mortgagor. No! I can't breathe. A mortgagor is the giver of the pledge to the mortgagee who receives that pledge, and then they will lend money. Remember that. A mortgagor is giving a pledge in the form of a promissory note. They are the giver of that pledge, and the mortgagee receives it. If you have a real estate instructor who teaches you that there's an exception to the rule, tell them to watch my webinars. Okay. A safety clause is found in A, loan broker statement, B, a listing agreement, C, a deposit receipt, or D, a lease. And the answer is listing agreement. By the way, in case you guys don't know, the words are highlighted up here, so you could click on them and the definition pops up. How many of you guys didn't know that? How many of you guys are like, what? That's crazy. Okay, so you click on the highlighted word and it pops up the definition. Be honest, how many of you guys didn't know about that? Pretty cool, huh? Thanks, Wahan. You're the best. Okay. In case you're wondering why the weather's been bad and there's a lot of rain and storms everywhere, don't know where you guys live, but there's been a lot of like tumultuous weather. It's because in my Colombian family, the sisters are arguing. And if you ever seen Colombian sisters go at it, like the clouds get dark, babies start crying, animals start running for cover. It's like something out of a Disney movie. Okay, moving on. So when they start making up, the sun will come out, which they always do after like half the house is broken. Okay. A contract based on a legal consideration is A, enforceable, B, void, C, valid, D, voidable. Colombia, Colombia, Colombia. They're not in the World Cup. They didn't make it. I'm totally bummed. Made me cry. Made all this nice sancocho and ajiaco. Nowhere to eat it. Okay, contract based on a legal consideration is, what do you guys think? Void. So you have void, valid, and voidable. Valid, void, and voidable. What is a valid contract? Anybody? 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 What is a valid contract? What do you guys think? What's a valid contract? A valid contract is all four elements: lawful object, consideration, offer and acceptance, and capable parties. What is a void contract? What is a void contract? What is a void contract? A void contract is one that's missing one of those elements. What is a voidable contract? Relax, wearing a mask, you're fine. Okay, what is a voidable contract? A voidable contract has all four elements and is valid, but can be rescinded. For example, if you're under duress. What's duress? What is a duress? What is duress? What is duress? You better buy this house or else I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to punch you in the face. You better sign and buy this house or else. Okay? Do you have to buy the house if I'm threatened to punch you in the face? Well, you're probably going to buy it, but you have the right to rescind because you're being threatened to punch in the face. Okay? But now, can you go through with the purchase? So you obviously have the option to rescind because I was threatened to punch you in the face, and that's horrible. Do you have the option to go through with the contract? And the answer is yes. That's why it's voidable and not void. Because you have the right to be like, easy, psycho. I was going to buy the house anyway. I kind of liked it. And now I'm going to be like, oh, sorry, my bad. I haven't made a sale in a long time. You know, stress, and you get my point. Okay? So you have the option to go through with it. Just like if you signed to buy a yellow house and the house is blue, you have the option to be like, I don't care. I was going to repaint it anyway. Okay? That's voidable. Who's ready for a more difficult question? Dun-dun-dun-dun. Who's ready for a more difficult question? What is a unenforceable contract? Bam! I know that one got some of you. What is a unenforceable contract? What is an unenforceable contract? This is tricky. Ah, nice job, Uche Du Bois vibes. If that's not the best name I've seen on this chat ever, I don't know what would be. Okay, so basically, unenforceable means that it falls on the statute of frauds, statute of limitations. Okay? And the tricky thing here is they don't apply to everything. Nice job, Nia. If you guys need to cheat off somebody's paper, you need to look at Nia's paper. One that cannot be upheld in court. There you go. So it has all the 4 essential elements, right? Lawful object, consideration, capable parties, mutual consent. But it's one of those contracts that need to be in writing, like when I sell my home to you. Okay? So therefore, it's unenforceable. So it is still a valid contract, but it's unenforceable. Okay? See, the thing about unenforceable, it doesn't apply to every contract. Not all contracts follow the same statutes. They have different statute of limitations. Some are 7 years, some are 5, some are 2. And some things need in writing, some don't. So those statutes leave that wiggle room to say, this applies to this type of contract, but not that one. Everybody got that? So that's what those statutes do. When something doesn't follow through with a statute, it's unenforceable. Okay, you guys got that? Whereas a void contract says it's no contract at all. Whereas unenforceable says, yeah, it's a contract, you just can't enforce it because it falls under one of these statutes. So speaking of, you have the statute of frauds and statute of limitations. By the way, was that a good question? Is that helpful? Let me know if that was helpful. Okay, what is the statute of frauds? What do you guys think is the statute of frauds? Okay, what's the statute of frauds? Nice job, Joanne Santos. Statute of frauds says what must be in writing. Good job, everybody. Statute of limitations says what? Statute of limitations tells you what? The amount of time. So I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. I'm trying to bring the energy and the positivity so we could all learn together. So if you enjoyed today's webinar, please click the thumbs up button in the bottom, right next to the title of the webinar on the bottom of the screen. I appreciate the positive feedback. If you don't love it, you don't have to click it. But if you are enjoying it, I always love a little thumbs up. Makes me feel good. Okay, moving right along. Let's do another question. We actually spoke about this before, so I hope everybody gets this right. When a counter offer is made, A, the original offer cannot amend its terms. B, it is considered a partial acceptance of the original offer. C, the original offer becomes a unilateral offer. Or D, the offeree becomes the offeror. What do you guys think? The offeree becomes the offeror. The answer is D, the offeree becomes the offeror. Remember my whole OREE song? Just real quick, where's everybody from? Everybody write where they're from. I'm just curious the scope of the people on this webinar. People all over the country. Where's everybody from? Everybody write the state they're from, or city if you want. Missouri, Massachusetts, Virginia, New York, Georgia, New York City, California, Texas, Rhode Island, Colorado, Boston, Ooh. So in case you get Japan, did not expect that one. Okay, so just in case everybody's wondering why everybody from all over the place, I cover national content in these webinars. We don't talk about state-specific items. We go over stuff that applies to everybody. Maryland, originally Costa Rica. Bienvenidos, Melissa. Yuma, Arizona. That place is hot, hot, hot. It's crazy hot in Yuma. If you guys need a sauna, just go to Yuma and just sit on the sidewalk. You'll be fine. Okay, here we go. With the exception of court-ordered sales, the amount of earnest money to be deposited by prospective buyer is determined by the A, state real property law, B, local real estate association, C, listing broker, or D, agreement between the seller and the buyer. The answer is D, agreement between the seller and the buyer. Okay. Which of the following is not true about an option? A, the option rights are assignable unless otherwise noted. B, the optionor retains the money paid for the option even if unexercised. C, the optionee has no interest or estate in the property until the option is exercised. Or D, the optionor can revoke the offer to sell during the designated period of time. What do you guys think? And the answer is D, the optionor can revoke the offer to sell during the designated period of time. So surprised, I got people from Japan here. So exciting. Konnichiwa. I think that's hello. I know ni hao ma is hello in China. I'm trying to get all my languages down. Who knows how to say hello in Japanese? Help me out. Now it's going to be bothering me. I want to get it right. Okay, here we go. Next question. By the way, who knows what an option is? What's an option? Who knows what an option is? Oh, I got it right. What's an option? An option is, everybody ready for this? A unilateral contract. Nice job, Tina Garner. That's what I was looking for. Great job, Tina. It's a unilateral contract, meaning one person has to perform, the other does not. In real estate, you will come across something called a lease option. Hey, guys, ever heard of this before? A lease option. A lease option. A lease option is when you rent the property with the option to purchase it at a later date. When you do that, do you have to purchase it at a later date? No. You do not. But the seller has to sell. The seller has to sell. Everybody got that? They do not have an option. You do. You, as the tenant, are the optionee, and the seller is the optionor. Now, obviously, for that right to purchase, you will either have to put money up front or pay an extra amount in rent, above and beyond their own price, because there has to be a financial consequence for you to not execute that option. Otherwise, there'd be no reason for the seller to do it. Everybody got it? The reason the seller binds themselves to give the option to sell it in a year is because you laid down some money that says, if I don't do it, I'll lose the money. And it could be like money up front or extra amount in rent above and beyond the normal amount, whatever you agree. But a seller's not going to rent it to you for the normal amount and give you the option to buy at the end of the year for, without any risk. Everybody got it? So an option is a unilateral contract. Who can give me another example of a unilateral contract? Who could give me another example of a unilateral contract? What's another example of a unilateral contract? Open listing. Nice job, Uche DeBoy vibes. Find my dog and I'll pay you. Good. A lost dog sign is a unilateral contract. A listing of exclusive listing is a bilateral contract. So the lost dog sign, if I see a sign that says find Muffy $500, I don't have to go look for Muffy. If I do find her, you have to pay me the $500. All right. Let's look at the question on the board. Under influence or duress to one party to a contract makes the contract A, void, B, invalid, C, unenforceable, or D, voidable. What do you guys think? Alex says, where can I get tutoring? On the Prep Agent website. Just go in the top right and click the drop down. You'll see options for tutoring, of which I am not one. But we got some amazing tutors there. All right, and the answer is voidable. I'd be a terrible tutor. You guys don't want me tutoring. Jones goes into a restaurant and orders lunch. At the end of the meal, is he legally obligated to pay the check? A, yes, but only if Jones is a legal adult. B, no, because strictly speaking, Jones did not promise to pay. C, yes, because by ordering, Jones entered into an implied contract for pay for the meal. D, yes, because Jones is liable through the process of novation. So we're talking about an implied contract. So the answer is, I don't know. I just clicked the longest answer so I can move on. No, I don't. Who does that? Who, when they're just like confused, just click the longest answer? Be honest. Well, if you did, you'd be right here. Implied contract says if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, acts like a duck, sounds like a duck, it must be a contract. Okay? Your actions are enough to form a contract. In this situation, you sit down at a restaurant, you have an implied contract. What does the word novation mean? What does nova mean? Nova. Nova. Nova is Latin for new. It's a new part of a contract. Who knows some other fancy Latin words that you studied for your real estate exam? Ad valorem, according to value. Lease pendants, lawsuit pending. What else you guys got for me? Caveat emptor, buyer beware. Pure Ultra V for the life of another. Nice one. Codicil. Is codicil Latin? Anyways, we should know what it is. It's a new amendment. Okay, good job, guys. So you get some words there. A broker is a combination of a listing and an option on a property. She exercises the option without disclosing to the seller that she has found a buyer at her price. The broker A has made a secret profit. B, created an illegal dual agency. D, has done nothing wrong. Or D, is guilty of theft. And the answer is... has made a secret profit. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. And I will see you guys again soon. I believe I'll be doing this next Tuesday as well. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to go get jacked up on caffeine at Starbucks and then go paint a house or something like that. Whatever that smug kid behind the Starbucks counter wants to make me. You know, that aspiring artist who works at Starbucks. Okay, I will see you guys soon. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Okay, I know what you're referring to. Shana Tova. So enjoy the new year. And I will speak to you guys soon.